God of the Bible is walking on water. And Peter said, can I join you? And he says, come. Come. Walk on water. Now, this is where the struggle begins. Because believe me sincerely, a lot of Christians have no problem believing that God can do all things. In fact, it's easy peasy for them. Of course, you walk on water, He's God. But the challenge that you must be faced with, and the challenge that will actually make you change the world with the power of God, is that He's now beckoning to you to come. Don't just watch me walking on water. I'm inviting you to come. I want you to see my power in your life. I want you to see my help in your life. That the very thing drowning others can now be your platform to the next level. Come on, I get what I'm saying. The very thing drowning others can be your platform. You can step on it. The thing killing others, you step on it without consequence. Come on, are you listening to me? Now, this is the difference. Believe me, a lot of Christians struggle with it. You can be a church goer and struggle with this. Now, listen. Let's talk facts now. Are you ready? Even in that story, when Jesus was coming, at first they thought it was a ghost. Have you read that before? They began to scream that it was a ghost. Jesus had to say, hey, peace, it is me. These are Jews. They know the miraculous working power of God. But even Jews, when they see such a thing, they will first think it is the devil. See, let me tell you something. A lot of church people, if they see someone demonstrate raw power, their first mind is that they went to get power somewhere. You see, we come to church, we act like we believe in power gifts, but there is something about us that accommodates the possibility of negative spirituality more than the willingness of God to demonstrate it in His children. Let me give you one practical example and see if you'll be honest to admit it. If you were walking on the road and you saw a shrine, what will you do? I'll tell you what most of us will do. You cross to the other side. There are some things you don't do except the Lord gives you a specific instruction. Isn't that true? You don't do it. Some of you, even if the Lord tells you, you go and think about it and pray about it well. Just cross. Listen, it doesn't even have to be a full-blown shrine. Let them just tie red cloth somewhere. Maybe in those days you were plucking mango, then you just looked again, you saw red cloth. You avoid it instantly because you believe, even if you're a Christian, that there are places you won't go to without consequence except by the mercy of God. But not many of you stepped into this place with that same consciousness. Not many of you, as you were entering church today, thought, the gathering of the saints, the fellowship of believers, my life is about to change. Not many of you thought that way. You see what I'm saying? So, it is something we must confront. How that subconsciously, even those of us who shout power, the power of God, you tend to believe it more. If a man ties red wrapper on his waist with chalk and he points his hand towards you and says some negative word, you may not sleep in the night. But if your pastor says you are blessed, or let me even put pastor aside, you read it in the word. Are you getting the problem now? So now they see somebody walking on water and their mind immediately goes to ghosts. Let me tell you something. I believe that denominations exist as a reflection of spiritual trauma. People very often choose church as a reflection of what they are running away from. So for instance, when you see people who grew in a church that just glorified poverty and didn't really emphasize God walking through your mind and through your hands, productive labor for you to contribute to society and all of that. When people come out from there, they now tend to go to the other extreme prosperity gospel. People, all they do is preach money. There are some churches, I wonder. Let me just say this. Nobody who is truly wealthy will brandish money the way some people do. When some people are flamboyant, excessively flamboyant, it is scarcity mentality. More often than not, it has not been long they were poor. And so, it's actually a reflection of trauma. And you can see it even on the pulpit. On the pulpit. A childish behavior. The things you talk about, the things you glorify constantly. Things that people who are not even sanctified, who don't even know Jesus, have more, 10 times. And you think they will take you seriously. In fact, sometimes we thought you were bigger until you shared the testimony. When you share testimony that you entered first class, that you flew first class. Believe me, in case you don't know, some people will never take you seriously in this life. That's it. Oh, that's the sign that God is good in your life. You know, there's one of us that is a pilot. The family that she flies, they use 2 private jets. So because they think it's too much risk for all of them to be in one, so they fly 2.